Samar Island is the third largest island in the Philippines and has one of the most extensive forest over limestone ecosystems in the country. This ecosystem is home to a wide array of uniquely adapted flora and fauna. Samar Island is known to be one of the centers of botanical diversity in the Philippines and has been nominated as a UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site for its exceptional natural beauty and precious biodiversity. For these reasons, Conserve Kaigangan, a biodiversity research program, was established. Kaigangan is a Samar local word that means forest over limestone. Our research program's mission is to assess and conserve the biodiversity in Samar Island's forest over limestone towards its sustainable management. One of our program's projects is the assessment of biodiversity and community structure in forest over limestone ecosystems. This component of our research aims to determine plant diversity and vegetation structure in various habitat types in forests over limestone, to determine animal diversity associated with forest over limestone, to identify functional classification of vegetation with its associated animal diversity, and to analyze the environmental factors influencing the prevailing structure of the biota. We conducted a comprehensive biodiversity assessment of forests over limestone in the municipalities of Paranas, Taft, and Giwan with remarkable findings. A combined total of 71 plant species were recorded from these municipalities, with at least 3 tree species classified as vulnerable based on the DENR updated national list of threatened Philippine plants. A total of 52 terrestrial vertebrate animal species were also recorded, including 5 amphibian species, 15 reptile species, 20 bird species, and 12 mammal species with conservation statuses ranging from threatened to endangered and critically endangered, based on the DENR updated national list of threatened Philippine fauna. This knowledge will empower our stakeholders in these areas to make appropriate research-based conservation efforts for the protection of these ecosystems that harbor an assemblage of rare, endemic, and economically important flora and fauna. Through this program, people will be equipped with knowledge on forests over limestone biodiversity, including the ecosystem services that it can offer to the community. We at Conserve Kaigangan continue to further raise awareness and capacitate national and local government agencies, especially local communities living in and around Samar's Kaigangan.
Hello everyone, welcome to Kaigangan Biodiversity Webinar Series. That's from Giwan.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Kaigangan Biodiversity Webinar Series. So this is our 5th episode. And I'm Leilani Masungsong and I will be your host. So, kamusta po ang umaga? Ayan, meron po dito sa chat box natin nakalagay na feel free to greet everyone and introduce yourself. So, pakitype naman po ang inyong mga names, affiliations, and location right now. And kamusta po ba ang panahon? Dito po kasi sa Los Baños o sa Laguna ay medyo maulan po. Ayan. So, eto, meron ng greetings. So, good morning everyone from Joe Murfort, Lama from WMSU. Ayan, Zamboanga City. Ayan, good morning din daw from Cyrene Navalta from University of Rizal System, Tanay Rizal. O, maulan din daw po sa kanila. Ayan, sabi dito nung isa, ang bilis. Maayong buntag sa tanan, Bernhard, veterinary student from University of Southern Mindanao, Cabacan North, Cotabato. Yan, another one. Sheena Marie Lagura from Cagayan de Oro City, Mass Espec. So, good morning din daw po from Sir Edna Balta from URS Tanay. And ayan, napaka ano naman ng ating mga participants. Yan. Good morning din daw po from Sam Brillo from Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila, Biology Department, College of Science. Gloomy. Okay, sir, gloomy ang weather. From Ma'am D. Don Orbok from Caraga State University. Sunny morning naman daw po sa Butuan. Ayan, so good morning din daw po from DNR Senro, Catbalogan. Ayan, good morning po. Good morning po, Sir John Bell from VSU, Baybay City. Ayan, parang familiar itong isa, Miss Karen Balyada. Ayan, good morning po from DMMSU, La Union. Good morning po from Sir Francis of IBS. Ayan, University of the Philippines, Los Baños. Ayan, makulimlim din daw po. Ayan, and marami po. Good morning po from Sir Christian Polenyo, Caraga State University. Ayan, and good morning from EJ San Miguel, BS Bio, major in botany, graduate from Central Luzon State University. So, watching from Tarlac daw po. Ayan, good morning po everyone. Good morning, good morning. Ayan. So, for today's webinar, so, sino po ba ang naka-attend sa atin last time? I hope you learned a lot from that webinar, so as much as we did. So, for the participants today, again, welcome to our Conserve Kaigangan webinar series. So, this webinar happens once or twice a month. So, stay tuned to our FB page for the announcements. So, I know all of us are excited, but before we begin, let me remind again, some rules for our decorum. So first, kindly keep your microphones muted, especially when our speaker is presenting. Then if you have questions or clarifications, please send them in our chat box and we will read them during the open forum. So the link to the evaluation form will be provided and e-certificates will be sent after completing the evaluation form. So this will serve as your proof of attendance. So please make sure that the email address you indicate is valid and correct as it will be the basis for sending the e-certificates. Ayan. Now that we've set some ground rules, we can now continue with our event. So before we call our guest speaker, so let me first introduce her. Our guest speaker is a graduate of Master of Science in Forestry, major in Forest Resources Management at the College of Forestry and Natural Resources, University of the Philippines, Los Baños. Her research interests were mostly focused on forest over limestone, so where she was able to author and co-authored various peer-reviewed published articles. She worked at different institutions where one of her main duties was mapping. So currently, she is a CIP MS Graduate Fellow of the Department of Science and Technology, Science Education Institute, and she is deployed here at the Institute of Biological Sciences, University of the Philippines, Los Baños, under the Conserve Kaigangan project. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us all welcome our very own Forester Marne Origenes to talk about mapping the distribution of top priority plants in the forest over limestone landscapes of Samar Island Natural Park, Philippines.
Good morning, everyone. First, I would like to thank the Conserve Kaigangan Project for inviting me in this webinar series and to present my topic entitled Mapping the Distribution of Top Priority Plants in the Forest over Limestone Landscape of Samar Island Natural Park, Philippines. I am Marnie Gao Rehenes, an MS Graduate Fellow under the Career Incentive Program of the DOST Science Education Institute, where I am deployed in a DOST Picard-funded project here at UPLB. Okay, for the introduction of my topic, Samar Island is the third largest island and it is regarded as a biodiversity-rich island in the Philippines based on the numerous studies conducted in the area. Samar Island features one of the forests over limestone in the country, which is habitat to a variety of endemic and threatened species that offer significant ecological services such as food, medicine, and other locally produced products that may only be found in the area. Samar Island Natural Park is the biggest natural park and it is the largest terrestrial protected area in the Philippines, covering approximately 333,300 hectares of land area of primary forest and a large continuous tract of secondary forest. Meanwhile, despite being protected under the National Integrated Protected Area System, or the NIPAS Act of 1992, these forests over limestone have suffered serious threats such as quarrying, land conversion, and increasing human population. These threats must be addressed to prevent a negative impact on the biodiversity in the forest over limestone in Samar Island Natural Park. But since it is very difficult to attain, which is to protect all the species, the recorded species were ranked with the assumption that subspecies are more important than the other species. Moreover, the recorded species during the phase 1 of the Conserve Kaigangan project were evaluated by Buot et al. 2024 using the Localized Conservation Priority Index to calculate the species harvesting risk, economic use, cultural use, species distribution, and frequency values to identify the priority species to be conserved in Samar Island Natural Park. These priority plants are vital to the health of the ecosystem, but they are also among the most exploited forest resources locally. These are the top 20 priority plants in Samar Island Natural Park identified by Buot et al. Dipugahan, Pitugo, Anibong, Lakmisan, Tulang, Lingatong, Tanag, Kabagong, Karyota, Dugan, Mount Tinaguho, Tugup, Bagotambis, Apanang, Balubar, Malabunot, Milipili, Malapapaya, Red Lawaan, and White Lawaan. Using the Geographic Information System technology, it can assess and interpret plant spatial distribution, such as identifying species occurrences for germplasm collection and identifying species distributed in a single province, a specific region, and single type of climate. Other studies also map species occurrence across different land cover for habitat preferences and potential conservation priorities. Furthermore, mapping the top priority plants in the landscape of Samar Island Natural Park will provide baseline data, better visualization, and other essential data that will support practical conservation efforts. Hence, this study was carried out to map the distribution of the SINP's top 20 priority plants at the local and national scale and to determine the occurrence of the top priority plants in SINP's various landscapes for effective conservation planning. For the methodology, this study used the top 20 priority species in Samar Island Natural Park as identified by Buot et al. 2024. In mapping the priority species distribution at the local and national scale, the local distribution of the priority species was determined based on the spatial information or the location or coordinates of the priority plants. The geographical or the Philippine distribution was determined based on the location in the coast digital flora of the Philippines. For the determination of the priority species occurrences within the landscape of SINP, secondary data from various sources, such as land cover, slope, elevation, and other available data were used in the study to identify where these priority species occur. After acquiring all of this information, it will now be analyzed using some spatial analysis, including the geoprocessing techniques. The spatial data layers of the priority plants were converted into shapefile, and the Philippine distribution of the priority plants were extracted within the Philippine boundary layer based on the location stated in the coast digital flora of the Philippines. To determine the occurrence of the top 20 priority plants across various landscapes in SINP, the local distribution of the priority plants were intersected in the following secondary data, for example, the land cover, using an open source GIS application, the QGIS. The output of the study is a map, charts, graphs showing the local and Philippine distribution, as well as the occurrence of the top 20 priority plants across various landscapes in SINP to support decision-making relevant to the conservation, management, and protection of the top 20 priority plants in SINP. We are now on the results and discussions of the study. In mapping the top priority plants at the local scale, Figures 1 and 2 shows the distribution pattern representing the spatial arrangement of the top 20 priority plants in the municipality of Paranas and TAF Eastern Samar in Samar Island Natural Park. Generally, there are a total of 2,000 individuals from these top 20 priority species recorded in SINP. And from that top 20, 17 species with 834 individuals were observed in Paranas, and 8 species with 1,166 individuals were observed in TAF Eastern Samar. So by analyzing this distribution map, we can generally identify which areas or location in SINP are scarce or abundant. And based on this figure, there are species that are most prevalent. The most abundant and widespread species with the highest number of individuals in SINP are Shorea negrosensis and Hanssia wenzeliana, which are symbolized by trees with the color red and blue. The remaining 18 priority plants are scarce and therefore endangered of extinction. As indicated in this distribution map, there are priority species represented by one individual in SINP. These very rare species are Cycas riemanniana, Gymnostoma rumpianum, and Lasianthus recoplibus. The sparse and fragmented distribution of the species may accelerate species decline and possibly local extinction if they are not properly conserved. Figure 3 illustrates the country-level distribution map of SINP's top priority plants. This map is crucial for understanding biodiversity, ecosystem dynamics, and how this plant respond to environmental changes across various locations in the country. As indicated in this figure, some of the priority plants have only a few occurrences points in the Philippines. The top priority plants with the lowest occurrences in the Philippines is the Lasianthus recoplibus, located in Mindoro, Palawan, and Samar. Another species with the lowest occurrences is the Oncosperma tigularium, located in Palawan and Samar. Another species is Hanssia wenzeliana, distributed in Surigao Province and Samar Island. Aside from that, these priority species with the lowest occurrences in the Philippines have only fewer individuals observed in SINP. Lasianthus recoplibus has 1 individual. Oncosperma tigularium has 3 individuals, except for Hanssia wenzeliana. Hansja wenseliana is a critically endangered species based on IUCN and no conservation status yet in the Philippine Red List of Threatened Species, and it is the second most abundant species after Shorea negrosensis and SINP. Species with narrow ranges are at higher risk of extinction than widespread species. Hence, there is an urgency to conduct more botanical exploration at the local and national level to confirm the rareness and endemism of such species. This distribution map of the top priority plants are useful for visualizing species distribution at the local and national scale and may be used for conservation planning as well as for envisioning which species should be strictly regulated and harvested. For the occurrence of the top priority plants across various landscapes in SINP, Figure 4 shows the top priority plants occurrences based on climate type. Basically, Samar Island's weather is classified into two categories, the type 2, which is the color blue, and the type 4, which is the color yellow. As indicated in this figure, 5 species, namely Gespirus blancoi, Artocarpus rubruginus, Palacium species, Hansja wenseliana, and Shorea negrosensis are the only priority species adapted to these two weather types in SINP. 3 species such as Cycas riemanniana, Dracena angustifolia, and Lasianthus rhycoplebus were found exclusively in type 2 climate, and the remaining 12 priority species can only be found in type 4 climate. The priority species adapted to these two weather types, such as Gespirus blancoi, Artocarpus rubruginus, Palacium species, Hansja wenseliana, and Shorea negrosensis, would have a greater chance of survival, making them more resilient to climate change and other environmental stressors. Figure 5 shows the top priority plants occurred in two soil classification in SINP, the Louisiana clay, which is the color green, and the Pharaon clay, which is the color brown. As indicated in this figure, the same 5 species in the previous slides were observed growing in these two soil classification in SINP, and the same 3 species were observed in Louisiana clay, and the same 12 priority species were observed in Pharaon clay. This Pharaon clay soil type is the third major soil type in SINP, and this Louisiana clay is the fourth major soil type in SINP. Figure 6 shows the top priority plants observed in two geologic profiles in SINP, the Oligocene-Miocene limestone and the spilitic and basic flows. So as observed in this figure, still the same 5 species in the previous 2 slides were observed in these two geologic profiles in SINP, and still the same 3 species were observed growing in spilitic and basic flows, and the remaining 12 priority species were observed in Oligocene-Miocene limestone. Figure 7 shows the top priority plants observed in 3 land cover types in SINP, the closed forest, which is the dark green in color, the open forest, which is the light green in color, and the brush or shrubland, which is the yellow in color. This time, as observed in this figure, 8 of the priority species can only be found in one vegetation cover in SINP. With that 8 species, 4 of that, such as Aquilaria commingiana, Cycas riemanniana, Dracena angustifolia, and Shorea contorta, were observed in open forest. 3 species were also observed in brush or shrubland, and 1 species, the Lasianthus rhycoplebus, were observed in closed forest areas. Meanwhile, Palacium species, Hansja wenseliana, and Shorea negrosensis are the only priority species in SINP observed in these 3 mentioned land cover types. And the remaining 8 priority species were observed in open forest and brush or shrubland. The priority species such as Palacium species, Hansja wenseliana, and Shorea negrosensis observed in these 3 mentioned land cover types may exhibit greater flexibility to any vegetation cover, allowing for ecosystem resilience and restoration than the other species. Figure 8 shows the top priority plant occurrences based on slope classes. So as indicated in this figure, Palacium species, Hansha winseliana, and Shorea negricensis are the only priority species adapted to any slope classes in SINP. 4 species such as Caryota rumpiana, Onchosperma tigularium, Gymnostoma rumpianum, and Shorea contorta were observed in greater than 50% slope, and 2 species were observed in 8 to 18% slope, such as the Cycas riemanniana and Polychus nodosa. The priority species, such as Palacium species, Hansha winseliana, and Shorea negricensis adapted to any slope in SINP, may expand their ecological niche and may contribute to ecosystem stability where other species are unable to thrive. Figure 9 shows the top priority plants occurrences based on elevation. As observed in this figure, majority of the priority plants were observed in 150 to 400 meters above sea level. Priority species had a specific elevation requirement, such as the Polychus nodosa, Lasianthus rhacoplebus, Canarium hirsutum, Palacium species, Dracena angustifolia, and Cycas riemanniana, which are seen in 150 to 300 meters above sea level. Shorea contorta, Gymnostoma rumpianum, and Aquilaria cumingiana are sited in 300 to 400 meters above sea level. These priority plants, restricted to a certain elevation in SINP, may be less adaptable to change and may experience population decline. This table shows the summary of all the occurrences of the top 20 priority plants based on climate, soil, geology profile, land cover, slope, and elevation. And based on the previous result, Shorea negricensis, Hansha winseliana, followed by Palacium species, Artocarpus rubrubineus, and Gespirus blancoi are the only priority species adapted to the diverse landscape of Samar Island Natural Park and would have a greater chance of survival in the field. On the other hand, Cycas riemanniana, Dracena angustifolia, Gymnostoma rumpianum, Canarium hirsutum, Lasianthus rhacoplebus, Polychus nodosa, followed by Shorea contorta and Aquilaria cumingiana, are the only priority species restricted to a certain habitat conditions in Samar Island Natural Park and may struggle or may experience population decline. Samar Island Natural Park offers several scenic and natural attractions. This figure also illustrates some of the events that may alter the landscape of Samar Island Natural Park and may potentially affect the top priority plants in SINP. If we were able to zoom in the location of these priority plants, results revealed that the surrounding landscape of these top priority plants are adjacent to settlements, indicating their susceptibility to anthropogenic activities. Aside from that, these priority plants are located near the Central Paranas Fault Line, which is the line with the color red, landslide-prone zone, and mineral extraction possibilities. Therefore, the top priority plants in the forest over limestone in Samar Island Natural Park are at higher risk of exploitation and are vulnerable to climate change impacts. For the conclusion, this study was able to map the distribution and occurrence of the top 20 priority plants within the landscape of Samar Island Natural Park, employing some basic GIS techniques. The finding shows that Hansha winseliana and Shorea negricensis are the two priority plants with the highest number of individuals adapted to diverse landscape of Samar Island Natural Park. Species that can adapt to various conditions have a greater chance of survival, making them more resilient to climate change and other environmental stressors. Moreover, species that are restricted to a certain habitat, such as Cycas riemanniana, Dracena angustifolia, Lasianthus rhacoplebus, Gymnostoma rumpianum, Polychus nodosa, Aquilaria cumingiana, Canarium hirsutum, and Shorea contorta may struggle to survive. Small population size and limited distribution of the species can lead to reduced genetic diversity, resulting to an increased risk of extinction. Aside from that, the surrounding area of the priority plants are susceptible to exploitation and climate change impacts, increasing the risk of disturbances. Furthermore, by mapping the distribution of the top priority plants in the landscape of Samar Island Natural Park, it helps us identify the specific areas where these plants occur, or are they abundant or not, or if they require specific habitat conditions in the protected area. So by knowing all of these results, it will now serve as a scientific basis for the creation of conservation policies, ensuring that conservation consideration and the recovery of the priority species are integrated into decision-making process. So here are my references. I would like to acknowledge the following institution: the DOST PICARD and DOST Science Education Institute, the Conserved Kaigangan Project at Plant Systematics Laboratory, College of Art and Sciences, UPLB, Samar State University, Eastern Samar State University, and the people's organizations such as BOSES and Torpedo. That's all. Thank you.
Yan. Thank you very much, Forester Orgenes. Ayan, nandito na ba si Miss Marne? Ayan. Good morning po, Forester Orgenes. Miss Marne na lang. For our questions, reminders po for the participants, you can type it now in our chat box. So while you are doing so, let me first read some of the questions we have from our pre-registration. Okay na po ba, Miss Marne?
Yes po, yes.
Ayan. Konting lakas ng inyong boses. Inyong volume. Ayan. Okay na po. Ayan.
Okay na.
Okay po. Okay po. So, for the first question, what do you think is the best method or practice to be used in mapping plant diversity, especially in forest over limestone areas or the karst areas? And follow up yung what challenges have you encountered during data gathering?
Okay, thank you for that question. Narinig po ba ako?
Okay na po, ma'am.
Thank you for that question. The best method, I think there's no such thing as best method. Maybe appropriate method to be used. The best method depends on the preferences of the researcher, the user, and it depends on the specific needs, budget constraint, and the level of expertise of the researcher using the geographic information system. Aside from that, if you really want an appropriate method, I would suggest involving field survey, remote sensing technology, geographic information system, and the advanced analytical analysis. And for the challenges I have encountered using geographic information system, for example, the QGIS, is that I occasionally experience stability issues using QGIS. And aside from that, some of the features and tools in QGIS are not available in this software. So you have to download in the plugins of the QGIS. And aside from that, if you are handling a large amount of data set, and it will cause a stability issues in your computer. As another challenges is the high-end computers to use in the data analysis and processing of your data, and lastly, the data quality and the availability, because we have to remember that when we are doing mapping, we have to consider that geographic information system is a system. It involves hardware, software, data, the methods, and the people. So the first thing we need to do is to gather our data and make a method and procedure for us to analyze it using the geographic information system. But for me, the best method is depends on the researcher on what or she or he want to analyze and want to answer. That's all.
Ayun. Thank you very much po, Miss Marne. So, medyo talagang ano no, mahirap, tedious ang pagbaba.
Yes.
So, maraming considerations.
Yes.
Ayan. So, kung ang sabi nga ni Miss Marne ay it will depend on the researcher kung ano yung gusto niya. And siguro po ay yung kung ano na rin yung mas halimbawa na-train siya o
Oh.
nagamit na niya. Ayan, yung familiar method para sa kanya. Okay, thank you very much for that, Ms. Marne. Another question po. How does the mapping of top priority plant species in the limestone forest of Samar contribute to the development of effective conservation strategies for these vulnerable ecosystems?
Okay. Well, that's a great question. So we all know that in mapping, we were able to create a visual representation of the data or the information we want to portray. So in this mapping of species, it also involves geographic information system to convert the complex information into easy to understand visual representation such as graphs, charts, and maps. So the other is that by mapping the species distribution, we can identify the precise location of the priority species for that may be regarded as a hotspot for, as it is important to conserve the genetic resources for germplasm and specimen collection of these priority species. Aside from that, we by mapping the priority species, we were able to identify if these priority species are scarce or abundant in Samar Island Natural Park. And since we have environmental data, we also identify the preferred habitat of these priority species. So by identifying this result, it will now serve as a scientific basis for the creation of conservation policies, and it also provides a baseline information to support practical conservation efforts.
Ayan. So, thank you again po, Miss Marne. So, follow-up lang, ano. Sabi kasi, di ba, medyo tedious nga ang paggawa ng mapping.
Yeah.
Ayan. And for taking into considerations the top priority, though na-mention mo naman kanina, pero pwede daw po bang paki-elaborate or ulit kung ano yung mga criteria na ginamit to select the top priority species.
Okay. These top 20 priority plants identified by Buot et al. Became the priority because they obtained a high score in terms of the harvesting risk, meaning all the parts of the plants are being harvested. They also obtain a high score in terms of economic use, meaning these plants obtain more than 5 economical uses. Aside from that, the cultural use, species distribution, and frequency values, meaning these priority plants are locally attractive to the community and may, if ever we will not conserve this priority species, then this species will experience population decline.
So mostly on their economic uses. Ano?
Yeah.
So,
But if you want to know more about the detailed how these top priority plants are being calculated, you may refer to the official website of the Conserve Kaigangan and look for the study of Buot et al. In identifying the priority species in Samar Island Natural Park.
Ayan. Thank you very much, Miss Marnia. So from our participants, meron po bang questions kay Forester Origenes? Parang quiet, parang nasagot mo na sa iyong presentation. So parang napaka-clear naman din kasi ng iyong presentation. So thank you very much po for, if you have questions or may maiisip kayong questions, we will just provide Forester Origenes email address, or you can directly email the Conserve Kaigangan project for your questions. Ayan, so thank you very much po, Forester Origenes, for that very engaging and lively discussion. So I think wala naman ng questions ang iba. So thank you so much. So
Thank you po.
let's move on to the presentation of the certificate for Forester Origen. So let me just read the citation. So the University of the Philippines Los Baños award this certificate of appreciation to Forester Marne G. Origenes for serving as the resource speaker during the webinar presentation entitled Mapping the Distribution of Top Priority Plants in the Forest over Limestone Landscapes of Samar Island Natural Park, Philippines of the Kaigangan Biodiversity Webinar Series, held on 29 July 2024 via Zoom. So signed, Inocencio E. Buot Jr., Professor and Project Leader. Ayan, thank you very much po again, Forester
Thank you.
Origenes. So a round of applause for Forester Origenes, or a heart reacts. Ayan, thank you. So we now move on to ayan, for our next webinar on August 19, 2024 at 9 a.m. This is entitled Empowering Bosses, Sustainable Resource Utilization and Capacity Building in Kaigangan Updates on Extension Activities, Binigar Production, Nursery Improvement, and Gene Bank Establishment. So our guest speaker would be Ma'am Edeline Etchapare, Associate Professor of Samar State University. Ayan. So come join us po again on our next webinar. So for our participants, kindly please open your cameras if you are able to, so we can have our photo op. Yan.
Okay, so open na po ng ating camera so we can start our photo documentation na po. So smile lang po. 1, 2, 3. Wait lang po. Wait po muna natin. Okay, another slide. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Next slide po. Last slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you very much po, everyone.
Thank you very much. Again, thank you very much po. Thank you very much, Forester Origenes. So before you leave, please do not forget to scan the QR code or visit the link shown on your screen later for the evaluation form. We will also provide this link in our chat box. And so I think it is in our chat box now. So don't forget to evaluate for the certificates. And again, thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the day po.
Samar Island is the third largest island in the Philippines and has one of the most extensive forest over limestone ecosystems in the country. This ecosystem is home to a wide array of uniquely adapted flora and fauna. Samar Island is known to be one of the centers of botanical diversity in the Philippines and has been nominated as a UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site for its exceptional natural beauty and precious biodiversity. For these reasons, Conserve Kaigangan, a biodiversity research program, was established. Kaigangan is a Samar local word that means forest over limestone. Our research program's mission is to assess and conserve the biodiversity in Samar Island's forest over limestone towards its sustainable management. One of our program's projects is the assessment of biodiversity and community structure in forest over limestone ecosystems. This component of our research aims to determine plant diversity and vegetation structure and various habitat types in forests over limestone, to determine animal diversity associated with forest over limestone, to identify functional classification of vegetation with its associated animal diversity, and to analyze the environmental factors influencing the prevailing structure of the biota. We conducted a comprehensive biodiversity assessment of forests over limestone in the municipalities of Paranas, Taft, and Giwan with remarkable findings. A combined total of 71 plant species were recorded from these municipalities, with at least 3 tree species classified as vulnerable based on the DENR updated national list of threatened Philippine plants. A total of 52 terrestrial vertebrate animal species were also recorded, including 5 amphibian species, 15 reptile species, 20 bird species, and 12 mammal species with conservation statuses ranging from threatened to endangered and critically endangered, based on the DENR updated national list of threatened Philippine fauna. This knowledge will empower our stakeholders in these areas to make appropriate research-based conservation efforts for the protection of these ecosystems that harbor an assemblage of rare, endemic, and economically important flora and fauna. Through this program, people will be equipped with knowledge on forests over limestone biodiversity, including the ecosystem services that it can offer to the community. We at Conserve Kaigangan continue to further raise awareness and capacitate national and local government agencies, especially local communities living in and around Samars Kaigangan.